What's going on YouTube? It's Mike here. Today guys, in this video I'm going to be talking about where the iPad mini with Retina display is, some rumors about it, and when we can expect it to actually come out. Now before I jump into all this about the iPad mini with Retina display, you'll probably notice today I only have two screens behind me. My third screen here, my desktop iMac, I finally got around to installing OS X Mavericks. You guys probably aren't interested. I know I'm a little bit late on that, but I decided to go ahead and start that. So I just figured I'd keep that screen off camera, just keep the main two behind me for today. Anyways, here we are, several weeks after Apple's October 22nd announcement where they introduced two new iPads as well as some revamped Macs, and of course some more details about the Mac Pro. Now, the two new iPads were the iPad Air and the iPad mini with Retina display. Now, the iPad Air came out just about a week ago. I decided personally not to get it. I see no need for it. I still have my iPad 2, that's not with a Retina display. That came out in March 2011, so it is pretty old. I actually don't use it anymore. My family uses it. I use my first generation iPad mini. Now, the thing was, what was different from last year is when Apple actually announced the iPad 4 alongside the iPad mini, they both came out on the same day, which was November 1st. This year they did a little bit different and they only released the iPad Air within that date from last year, and they said that the iPad mini with Retina display would be coming later this month. Now, I do know that it's just the beginning of November. We still got several weeks to go. However, there have been quite a few rumors about it, and the first one is about the shortages of the iPad mini with Retina display. Now, it's not that big of a product compared to the old iPad mini. There's no gold, there's no Touch ID, there's nothing like that. All there really is the Retina display and a bumped processor, and on the back there's another microphone besides the one that's on the top. So honestly, it is better than the iPad mini, but it's not a huge difference. However, because it's so much harder to make, as Apple says, so much harder to make the Retina displays in the iPad mini, it's going to take them more time to manufacture, also leading to them having shortages of the product itself. Now, personally, I think this sucks. I think anyone would, quite honestly, because that means Apple's going to run out of quantity for the holiday, which is a very bad thing because an iPad mini has always been a bestseller since they introduced it last year, and a lot of people are going to be expecting it to be ready and available by Christmas, and they're unfortunately most likely going to be disappointed by it being out of stock everywhere. Hopefully Apple doesn't delay this any further. I'm really hoping around maybe next week we get some word from Apple, so I'm looking very forward to it. But it's going to be interesting to see. Some sources were even saying that the iPad mini with Retina display could be as limited as the gold iPhone 5S, which is crazy if it is, because it's really not that big a difference from the first generation, like I said, but they're still expecting extreme shortage, extreme sellouts, and extreme hard to findness, if that makes any sense. Now, just about a week and a half ago, Target accidentally spilled the beans, most likely on a purported release date for the Retina display iPad mini. Basically, on their website, they just put all the specifications up. They said that the iPad mini with Retina display, $400, starting at 16 gig. Like any website would. I'm sure it's on all the other websites. Of course, it's not available yet, though. However, Target did something different, and they actually put a release date on the very, very bottom, hidden in the specifications. And it said November 21st, 2013. Now, the reason why this does make sense and doesn't make sense is because November 21st is a Thursday. As you guys know, Apple always releases products on a Friday. However, places like Target and Walmart usually release them at 12 a.m. Friday morning, Friday at midnight. As soon as it hits 12, they release it. So I guess they're considering Thursday 11:59 p.m. They just probably want to look better than all the others by putting November 21st, because November 22nd is a Friday, so that would make sense if Target put November 21st. They're just making themselves look like they're getting it early, even though they're just going to be releasing it at 12 a.m. Kind of like the Walmart thing and the Best Buy thing too, how they release it first thing at midnight, and then Apple releases it, early in the morning, 8 a.m. at their stores on, let's say November 22nd, for example. So it seems like Target accidentally released this. As soon as we started getting word about this date that it was leaked, Target actually pulled it down. They were probably reminded by Apple that even though internally they were told what the release is, I'm sure Walmart was told, Best Buy, all the big retailers were actually told the release date already, but Apple is not sure about the manufacturing of it itself, so they don't want to put it out there yet. Let's say something happens, something pops up, not enough can, be actually manufactured to meet the required needs that Apple wants, then they'll have to take that date down, change it, extend it, postpone it, whatever they have to wind up doing. So Target accidentally let it go, and a lot of people now are thinking that it's going to be coming out November 22nd. Now, coming later in November, honestly, that does make sense because that is later in November. God, that's practically the end of the month if you think about it. But it would be interesting to see if they do that, or they wait another week, or they just do something weird, or they even postpone it to the beginning of December. Honestly, I think Apple needs to get their act together and figure this thing out and let us know. I'm sure after me putting up this video tomorrow, they'll announce something. Well, maybe, you never know, but I'm looking forward to it. I want to see what Apple does. I didn't want the iPad Air. I didn't think it was that big of an upgrade. Of course, it was in a sense, the design change, but it's the same design as the iPad mini. It's got just about the same processor as its predecessor. There's not really much of a difference. It is lighter substantially, half a pound under the old one. But there's not really much of a difference, and there's no need for me to go out and buy a $500 tablet that I'm barely going to use. I'd rather just sell my old mini, get half that money back for it, and go out and buy the newest one whenever Apple decides to release it. So that's pretty much it, guys. That's just my video on where is the iPad mini with Retina display, some little rumors and details that we know going around. As you guys can expect from me, I'm going to be doing my videos on the iPad mini Retina display as soon as it comes out. Like I said, I'm looking very forward to the upgrade. It's always been a missing feature for me for the iPad mini. When I first got the iPad mini, I loved everything about it except the fact that it didn't have the Retina display. I'm a little bit disappointed that Apple bumped the price up all the way to $400 starting at 16 gigabyte when I paid $329 for my original one. I would have thought Apple would maybe go $350, $370, but they really had to go to $400. And by the way, they're still selling the iPad 2 for $400 as well, and that's Apple. That's a little bit weird. But anyways, guys, that's it for this video. If you liked it, please leave some comments below on your thoughts. Of course, give this video a thumbs up and click the subscribe button below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Any day now, Mavericks. I got a video to edit.